From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. Fast-rising floodwaters in British Columbia's Fraser Valley are forcing families and farmers to escape cross-border outflows from Washington state. Water from the Nooksack River is spreading over the Fraser Valley. The city of Abbotsford has ordered people to leave another 82 homes, joining about 400 other property owners rushed out overnight. Dave Campbell with BC's River Forecast Centre says people in the Sumas region will have to stay alert as waters rise.
Into the evening, potentially overnight, and really being into tomorrow before we start to see that whole system receding.
More than 160 farms are under evacuation order or alert. Prime Minister Mark Carney appears unfazed by the prospect the U.S. may be considering leaving North America's trilateral free trade pact, known as CUSMA.
The Prime Minister, on his way into cabinet this morning, rejected the idea that the Americans will tear up CUSMA and try to negotiate a separate bilateral trade pact. Just a day before, Donald Trump's trade representative Jameson Greer had publicly floated that idea. Dominic LeBlanc, who is currently spearheading trade talks with the U.S., says his talks with the Americans suggest it's not their current objective. But Canada's former top trade negotiator Steve Verhoeven has warned this is likely an aggressive political play the Americans will make in the new year when CUSMA comes up for renewal. Kyle Duggan, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
The House of Commons has started its winter break without passing the government's lengthy budget implementation bill. The bill passed second reading this week. It'll head to committee for study in the new year. A second woman in her 80s has died after being found alone outside at night in the Montreal area. An 84-year-old woman slipped out of her family's home without anyone noticing and was found on a suburban street overnight by a snow clearing operator in Longueuil. In a separate incident, an 88-year-old woman was found dead outside a retirement home north of Montreal early Monday morning. Trans Mountain has paid a record fine for environmental lapses along its BC pipeline route after a January 2024 storm. The $196,000 fine is the largest cumulative penalty of its kind issued by the Canada Energy Regulator. A new report says Canada's three largest provinces are lagging behind the rest of the country when it comes to policies and outcomes tackling the housing crisis. The University of Ottawa's Missing Middle Initiative says Ontario, British Columbia, and Quebec are performing the worst overall. Founding director Mike Moffat says part of that is high development charges.
I think it's one of the biggest contributors to the crisis. Now, there's certainly a lot of other things going on, but those development charges end up making it more difficult and expensive to buy homes.
New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island each scored the highest grades in the country. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Montreal goaltender Jacob Fowler will make his first NHL start tonight as the Canadians visit the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Habs recalled the 21-year-old from the American Hockey League Tuesday night after losing 6-1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning at home. The Edmonton Oilers look to continue their climb up the Western Conference standings tonight when they host the Detroit Red Wings. Elsewhere, Toronto hosts San Jose, Ottawa visits Columbus, Winnipeg welcomes Boston, and Vancouver hosts Buffalo. In CFL news, star quarterback Bo Levi Mitchell has signed a 2-year contract extension with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The 35-year-old from Texas has led the CFL in passing yards and passing touchdowns the last 2 seasons. The Montreal Alouettes have released all-star linebacker Darnell Sankey. And the Vancouver Whitecaps are going ahead with plans to build a new stadium on the eastern edge of the city. The Major League Soccer club currently plays at BC Place, and their current lease expires at the end of the month. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.